Mammoth. That's what we're watching, isn't it?
Sure.
Quality. Yeah, just because I'm pulling off here. Live chat. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, the younger brother as well.
Yeah.
Okay, where are they both?
Prior to that, the only Townsville players that could play was Brisbane.
Yeah. All right, and welcome to the men's semi-final here at the Australian Ultimate Championships. We're joining you on the Ultimate Australia live coverage. I'm Max Tenstrom,
I'm Chris Endy.
and we'll be keeping you company for what is sure to be a cracker of a game.
Oh, we certainly hope it will be.
We've got Colony Pillage in the black and red, and then Mammoth in their classic blue and white. What are you expecting out of this one?
Well, Mammoth are bringing a pretty large squad this year to AUC, so I'm expecting that they'll be going through their lines pretty well, and that they'll be relying on their fresh legs to carry them over against Colony.
Yeah, I think squad of 25 or 26, it's very big. Obviously, also generally speaking, pretty young. Whole lot of athletes, been impressing a lot of teams in the last couple of days.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the Mammoth boys were on the Queensland Under-22 squad, which claimed gold last year at the national Under-22 Nationals. So lots of upcoming talent coming through. A lot of height on this team as well, and a lot of speed. Sort of the two things you don't really want to be going up against, right?
Yeah, especially in these slightly windy conditions. Just so that you guys know in the audience, we've got a wind blowing away from the camera and a little bit left to right. So expect to see that come into play a bit. It's not too strong, but throwers will have to adjust and be aware.
Yeah, it's pretty blustery as well. It's no sort of constant predictability to it. So it's there for a moment, then gone.
So we've had the toss, and Mammoth will be starting on defense, and Colony Pillage on offense.
With John McNaughton to pull, and away we go.
And the disc is received by Stacey, who centers to Tullett. We'll be expecting to see a lot from Tullett this game. One of the captains on this team. Moves it to Blakely. Mammoth coming down in a zone look, looks a bit like a pommy. And Pillage moving it quickly now to the far side. Stacey's throw is a little bit low, making it difficult for Vo to catch.
John McNaughton picking up. He's ready to go. He's looking deep. Goes for Elliot Cook. Elliot looking for options. Storcount must be getting up. He sends it to Lockmurph. Mammoth, first point.
And that's a break.
Oh, wait, is there a call? Sorry. Stall out?
I think it's a travel call. Yeah, judging by the reenactment they're talking about, if you lift the back foot. We get another look at it here on the replay. Stall count was definitely getting high, looked off a couple of good options. Yeah, it's difficult to tell there, but it's close.
I'm glad you can see the screen. Discussion's going for a while. I'm assuming it's going to be contested. Coming in on back in on 6. Yep, coming back in on 6 in the hands of Elliot Cook. He'll be looking to get rid of it pretty quick. Goes to John McNaughton. Looks off Al Leask. Wanting people under. Hits Lock Murph. Linus Mueller into space. Oh, I assume there's a call. No idea what the call was. Pick, I assume.
Yeah, judging by the big double bicep from the game advisors who are lucky to have on the sidelines, that's a pick.
Coming back in on 2. Here we go. Linus hits Al Leask. Al looking deep. Goes for John McNaughton. Oh, that's a big... Wow. Wow. Linus just getting huge over that pack grab.
Yeah, there were a lot of bodies under that, but Mueller the biggest. He's a big guy. Uses his strength and size well to box out the defenders and go upstairs and reel that one in. That was a real highlight play. Hopefully we'll get another look at that one. John McNaughton with that lefty backhand. Lots of players. Mueller just reads it.
Wow. Fingertip grab. That's it's pretty awesome. So Mammoth securing that break there.
Yeah, coming out of the gate strong. Maybe Colony caught a little bit on the hop, caught a little bit of sleep. Got a similar looking line out there now. Got plenty of experience on that line. Plenty of Aussie caps, as it were.
Yep. Al Leask with the pull. Slow and flat. Is that coming back in? No.
Perhaps not.
Oh, they're taking the brick though. No? No,
it looks
that
like
was a point, not a brick call. My bad.
Schuler will march it back up the field. That'll be a
You'd
very
have to say
short
it's a guaranteed
field.
goal, right?
Don't know if I'd quite say guaranteed, but close to. This Colony team deadly with the disc. Schuler especially got a big range of throws, cheeky lefties, high releases, the works. Expect to see him make short work of this cup. Andrews with the disc finds Blakely with a nice inside flick. Those two going to connect often. And a foul call by Blakely. Tapped back in. Peter texts Blakely. To Andrews to Stacey to Chulett, moving it nicely back into the centre, getting it off that sideline, which is never where you want to be against a zone. Chulett breaks through the cup to Blakely. Andrews finds Connell now. Andrews, lots of small space. Chulett does a good job to hop that one in.
Mammoth calling it in, so we got a point.
Yeah,
Nothing like a little hop to toe the line.
Yeah, that's a veteran play by Tullett.
So 1-1.
1-1. Colony respond. Now it'll be up to the Colony D-line. Put some pressure on Mammoth.
Yeah, absolutely. Be interesting to see what line Mammoth put out. They got 25 people they can choose from. They did have a squad of 26, but young Marcus Leask is unfortunately injured. Something to do with the shoulder. So for Mammoth, it looks like Chris Brown, John McNaughton, Timothy Copeland, Stu Jinks, Jack Allen, Luke Bain, Sam McGuckin. So this should be Colony's first D point, or D line. What can we expect to see?
Well, I think every time you see a Colony team, you expect to see hard running, and it wouldn't be any different here.
You reckon they're going into a man or a zone?
I think they'll start this game in match. I think they'll trust themselves to match it athletically, at least in the early portion of this game. Obviously, Mammoth with the depth, you'd expect would have more legs towards the end, and obviously we're already deep into day 3, but match defense to get things kicked off.
John McNaughton centering to Jack Allen. Looking to Luke Bain. Luke Bain back to Jack Allen. Jack Allen, Luke Bain. Oh, John McNaughton going deep. Luke Bain to Stu Jinks. Stu not sure who to engage. He's looking for a dump. No call.
Uncontested stall out. Norton immediately picks up and boosts it, but Gav Moore can't track it down. Maybe Norton a little bit rushed with that throw. It's difficult throwing in that direction in this wind. It really won't sit up. The wind will make it dive towards the turf, meaning you have to be absolutely pinpoint. And Colin to give it straight back to Mammoth, who get another chance. Looked like Jinx got a little flustered there before, unable to find a dump.
Oh, Timothy Copeland drawing out deep. John McNaughton looking. Centers to Luke Bain. Mammoth really looking like they want to send it deep, and here it goes. C. Brown, but that's overshot.
Yeah, Colony doing a great job of pushing Mammoth backwards there. Feels like McNaughton saying, all right, we just need to get this disc out of our end zone. Can't afford a short field turn.
Yep.
Norton will pick up again for Colony.
Slowly making their way down, taking their time, gathering their composure.
Yeah, very nice and slow. No rush at all. Going to set up in a vertical. Stock standard. With Nichols starting in the dump.
Whoa.
This has got air underneath it.
Timothy Copeland gets a hand to it, and he's got it. John McNaughton coming to pick up. Looks deep straight away. Still looking. Sends it deep.
Another high stall count situation.
And Stu Jinks, under 20, pulls it down for Mammoth.
Wow. Under 20, showing you can mix it with the big boys. It's a great grab.
Absolutely. That was certainly a big highlight of Mammoth from their game against Chile. They weren't afraid to throw their young guns against the Chile veterans. Really good to see a team to have that sort of confidence in themselves and their younger players.
So we get another look at that block. Copeland gets a touch and about 4 other players in the sky with him. Eventually goes to ground and McNaughton picks it up. Another situation where it looks like McNaughton couldn't get an easy under that he liked and felt like he almost threw that quite late in the stall count as he got a little desperate.
Yeah, definitely.
But it paid off in the end as Jinx sticks out the right hand and rips it down. Maybe a bit of redemption for Jinx after earlier in that point, struggling to get a dump off.
Yep.
Who are the big names on this Mammoth team that we should be looking out for to lead them to victory?
I mean, John McNaughton's going to be quite pivotal in that. Tim Cleese-Copland also going to be huge playmakers for Mammoth.
Well, we'll look out for those two. As Chulett has the disc now. Mammoth in a zone again. And Colony will get it moving. Through the hammers. To Connell. To Andrews. A nice high release to get it back to Stacey. To Chulett. To Stacey. Struggling now. Blakely provides an outlet. To Chulett. They're not making many meters. The Mammoth zone doing a good job at keeping them contained. They look to move it quickly now. A forehand from Connell gets it moving. Goes back to Blakely.
Oh, we got a call.
Looks like a travel call by Grimmond.
Colony's looking like they're not being able to do what they want to do. Mammoth really putting some pressure and stagnating their offense.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the way the Colony will get a couple of quick passes and then Mammoth are able to contain them and not let them continue that fast movement.
Yep. I'm judging by the hopping action. We have a foul.
Yeah, I think the big Leon McIntyre may have stood on Chulett's foot there.
Yep.
Connell on that far side. That's the downwind sideline, so they'll try not to get stuck there.
Ooh, little bobble there.
Having to throw a lot of passes and be really patient.
Yep.
To Andrews. To Chulett. Andrews with a high release forehand. He's loving that high release. Connell back to Andrews.
High release to finish it.
Yeah, to Vo.
That was a hard point for Colony. That levels them out 2-2.
Yeah, really being forced to work hard. Mammoth zone doing a lot of work at containing them. So we get another look at it on the replay. Andrew's clearly been practicing that high release flick, looking for every opportunity to pull it out. And it's serving him well there.
Certainly interesting to take a high release option in the windy conditions, but high risk, high reward, I guess.
Yeah. I'm very impressed that he's feeling confident enough to do it, but look, it's paying off. Who are we to say no?
Absolutely.
Though I think Mammoth will be pretty happy with the amount of passes they forced Colony to throw that point.
Yeah, definitely. You could see the Colony players were sort of being frustrated, having to go to their third and fourth option to throw to. Certainly a good sign for Mammoth at this point if they can keep it up.
Yeah, and at this kind of level, I mean, that's all you can expect out of a defense line. They're not going to get a break every point. It's about ramping up that pressure over the course of a game.
That's it.
And points like that do really help build the pressure, make the Colony offense line have to work really hard, maybe tire them out a tad.
Just a quick shout out to young Matthew Hamilton, who's watching the live stream right now.
If you are joining us on the live stream, please send in your comments, questions, thoughts. We'll be reading them and
You may have
responding
opened
to
the
them.
floodgates now.
We'll try to respond to them all. No guarantees.
So John McNaughton taking that centre into Elliot Cook, who's hit Linus. Linus looking for options. We got a call. I'm assuming it was a pick. Disc stays with John McNaughton. Coming in on 0. John McNaughton looking deep. Gets it to Dan Gladish. Token American on this team. John McNaughton to Al Leask. Al going to John. John to Linus. Oh, Linus sends it. Sends it to Lockbomb. It's too short.
Yeah, that's well read and intercepted. Now in the hands of Gav Moore. Works it to this near sideline to Hardy. Schulett's got players going deep, but doesn't like the look of it. Does a lot of little 1-2 and gets it back.
Colony break back.
Nicely done. And to rub salt in that wound, I think that was Reece Stewart, an ex-Brisbane Firestorm and Mammoth player who scored that goal.
Indeed, he'll find that quite tasty, I'm sure. So it should be 3-2 to Colony now. Mammoth boys getting loud.
Classic
pumping
Mammoth.
each other up.
The call coming up from their sideline. We're here to fight, boys. And I think that's exactly what they'll have to do. Colony, obviously a very classy team, maybe coming into this tournament as the favourite on paper. So Mammoth, if they want to get to the final, they're going to have to do it the hard way.
I'm not sure you would say Mammoth were the favourites. I mean, they did take out SMO, but a number of the teams were...
So I meant Pillage are the favourites.
Ah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
Rob Andrews set to pull.
It's a nice ball there. Al Leask with the catch. Sends to John McNaughton. Goes back to Al Leask. Al Leask looking. No mark on him at the moment. Lock Murph. Back to Al Leask. To Ryan Gary. Back to Al Leask. Al.
Rob
Too
Andrews
low
picks
for
up.
Lock Murph to pick up. Oh, that's some big pie. Who's coming down with that?
Nobody.
Nobody. Ground wins that one. Al Leask sends it long. He's got Trent Thompson in the back. Oh!
Went up very early.
I mean, he's big, but he's not that big.
Yeah, that was ambitious.
So
Colony will get it back. Rob Andrews picking up. His high release forehand got him in trouble last time. Instead, throws something a little more conventional now. And
big throw.
Gav
Two Colony
Moore.
players in pursuit.
A beautiful throw to Dave Andrews, Rob's younger brother. And
Timeout called.
Jimmy Todd Hill, a bit of a veteran move. Calls the timeout about 8 metres out from the end zone.
Interesting. Usually doesn't go well for the team that calls it.
Yeah, I've heard this stat floating around that 80% of midpoint timeouts lead to failure. What do you reckon?
I'd say it'd be pretty close.
So have Colony just shot themselves in the foot? That's the question.
So I'm sure they've got a set play. I'm sure this is by no means a coincidence, but let's see if they buck that statistic.
Yeah, I guess someone's got to be the 20%. Let's see if they can fall within that. Obviously, Todd Hill with the disc. Probably not the player on this team that you'd usually think of as a powerful thrower. A lot's been said about his forehand technique, and I won't say any more than that.
I was just about to say, what do you think Colony are going to try and pull out right now?
I imagine, keep it nice and simple. You isolate one cutter in the end zone and go from there. I mean, they're only about 6-7 meters out. They'd love to do this in one pass, so
yep.
Keep it simple. Rob Andrews probably a prime candidate. Very quick and tall as well. As I say that, it looks like Andrews will start in the dump. So we may just see him.
Could be an upline cut.
Yeah, burn straight up line. He's got the pace to make it work. Downfield, we've got Gav Moore at the front of the stack, another potential target. Veteran of many international campaigns.
You reckon the hammer's on?
Maybe not from Todd Hill. Oh, we've got Nichols about 5 meters in front of the disc. Expect him to make the first move. Looking just to jam on in, but doesn't happen, and he immediately clears out. Andrew's working really hard to get open, and he gets there.
Ooh.
Big break flick. Gav Moore taking on a bit more of a hand the roll. On a break forehand.
Oh, what a layup bid by Trent Thompson. And it's a foul.
Yeah, Todd Hill not happy with the contact. See it again here. Andrews going for the inside out forehand. That's a good looking block, but
yeah, it is.
Looks like it'll go back.
Looks like it's going to go back to the thrower. Mammoth sideline getting really, really loud.
Brings it back in, Andrews. 10 meters out of the goal line. Inside out forehand again to Nichols. He's on the doorstep now. Not seeing anything he likes. There's a pick call. Very chaotic around the disc. It's about 3 or 4 players within 3 meters of the disc. Making it very difficult to get something off. I think Nichols will look to get rid of this quickly. Goes straight to Gav Moore. And puts it away.
Yep. So I guess technically they bucked the statistic, right? Took a bit more than one pass, but they got it in.
No, you're absolutely right. It's proof. Colony Pillage are the 20%.
So is that 4-2?
That is 4-2. Mammoth came out strong, but Colony respond well. They're out to an early lead.
Indeed.
Having said that, we've seen a lot of play by a small number of people on the Colony line. Andrews playing both offense and defense when he had to. We'll see whether fatigue becomes a factor later in the game and Mammoth's large roster able to be an advantage.
Mammoth certainly making Colony work for it, though.
Colony getting up this morning over Hoss Juggernaut to earn themselves a spot in this semi-final. And now they're coming up against Brisbane.
So Mammoth low, O-line looks like John McNaughton, Seb Brown, Chris Brown, Timocles Copland, Sam McGuckin, Rob de Hollander, Leon McIntyre. John McNaughton centering to Leon McIntyre. Leon to Timocles Copland. Timocles to Chris Brown. Chris Brown to Rob de Hollander. Rob de Hollander's looking, he sends it to Tim. Tim's going just short. Timocles Copland finishes off with Sam McGuckin. That was a very, very fast and clinical point there for Mammoth.
Yeah, the flow there was beautiful. No one held onto it for more than a couple of seconds. That's really nice to watch.
And I think we may have even had everyone on that line touch the disc.
Yeah, possibly. Very close. That's a really textbook offensive point for Mammoth. And you can tell by their reaction they're pretty happy about it.
Absolutely.
Everyone running on, high-fiving. Colin, on the other hand, very quiet.
Yep. I don't think they're looking forward to being out there so quickly.
No. Never feels good as an offensive line if you come off after a point and you're back on only a few seconds later. Puts the pressure back on you to deliver.
Absolutely. 4-3 to Colony at the moment.
We've got Andrews, Chulett, Stacey, Connell, Vo, Hardy. Apologies, that's not Hardy, that's McCabe, and Blakely out there.
I reckon we're going to see a Mammoth zone. We've got Timocles Copland, Stu Jinks, Luke Bain, Jack Allen, Tom Anderson, Sam McGuckin, and Liam Grimmond. That is a very, very tall line. That's a lot of wingspan, and I reckon it's going to be a puppy fence.
Yeah, they used it earlier, and it was very effective at slowing down
Timocles with the pull.
the Pillage offense.
Oh, it's a good result.
Stacey fields it. Mammoth choosing to play match. It's now in the hands of Blakely.
Oh, it's up in the air.
Chulett has to
clean up.
Yeah, the throw from Blakely, I think it was intended for Connell, but Connell had no idea it was coming. And now Chulett with the disc. Sneaky inside out forehand to Thomas Rowe coming across the front of the stack. Nicely done.
That was they looked pretty good mostly for Colony there, except for that wayward throw, but Tullett was able to clean it up.
Yeah, we see
Put it
again
in.
Chulett on the doorstep. Extremely strong thrower. Breaking the mark. Nice forehand. In front of Vo. Gets the job done.
Absolutely.
And that's Chulett's second assist. So, as I think many people would have predicted, playing an important part in the Colony offense. Interesting choice there by Mammoth not to play their zone again.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was really effective earlier in the game. I do hope they bring it back out.
And they certainly had the height to pull it off. But at least we'll get to see the Mammoth O-line back in action again. So we got John McNaughton, Elliot Cook, Al Leask, Linus Muller, Locke Murph, Dan Gladish, and Dan McPherson.
Hear the whistle from the game advisors, just to let the players know that the time limits have expired for them to get the next point started, and Norton will send the pull downfield.
Elliot Cook taking that on the chest, sends it to John McNaughton. John's looking for the deep option. Goes to Dan McPherson. Dan Gladish. Dan Gladish puts it, sends it to Alice. That's beautiful. Alice milks it and he's in. Wow.
Mammoth stoked about that one, rushing the field.
Absolutely. That's what the other thing I'm really liking about Mammoth. It's not always the same people taking the big shots. You know, we saw Rob de Hollander bomb it down to Tim McLeese, and now we've just watched Dan Gladish go to Al Leask. That's just how much faith and confidence they have in each other right now. That's as an opponent, that's not what you really want to be seeing.
Yeah, it makes it so much harder from a defensive perspective to know who to put your key matchups on.
That's right.
When every single player on the field, it feels like, is capable of throwing those deep shots, capable of cutting for the deep shots. It's a real defensive conundrum for Colony, how to slow Mammoth down.
Absolutely. That was just so quick.
Yeah, and we saw Sean Hardy throw his hat in the ground after that point, upset Colony defender. He'd made a bid on Gladish just before that, and as he was on the ground, Gladish threw the huck over his body, which never feels good as a defender. Now Colony offense back out there quickly again.
So Colony in front 5-4.
5-4 to Colony. Still trading up.
John McNaughton to pull for Mammoth. He's alongside Elliot Cook, Linus Muller, Trent Thompson, Ryan Garrahy, Locke Murph, and Joel Cook. That is a monster pull from John McNaughton.
That is huge.
That is ridiculous. Oh, did he touch that?
A lot of people shouting touch from the sideline.
I mean, I feel like I had best perspective. He definitely touched that.
Though it does look like John McNaughton's going to be at the front of the end zone. We've got a replay of it here. Difficult to tell.
Was it just the tip?
No comment. Chulett walks up to the front of the end zone. And no dump. Set up.
It's like they just want to send it.
Connell hustling.
Goes. Linus is back there. Who's got position? Who's getting up? Oh, wow.
Every single player out there misread that. Connell almost ran a loop-de-loop around Mueller trying to find where it was going.
Ryan Garrahy with the disc. Back to Elliot Cook. Elliot Cook sends it. Is not short. John McNaughton milks it in. Tom not happy with that. Mammoth boys loving it.
Yeah, that was a massive shot. Absolute laser beam. Flat the whole way. John McNaughton was incredibly deep when the throw went up. Most people would have seen where he was standing and tell him to get under. But that was a beautiful throw. Chulett, because McNaughton was so deep, was hanging under him, thinking that McNaughton was only coming back under. But an amazing throw opens up an amazing goal.
Absolutely. That was pretty. Very pretty.
And that's a break for Mammoth as they pull it back to 5 apiece.
So at that point, do we think a little bit of Colony's frustration starting to seep through, just sending that deep straight up?
Yeah, I think that's the pressure of a great pull seeping in as well. John McNaughton launched that huge pull, landed in the back of the end zone. It wasn't touched in the end, but when you're putting pressure from the very initial moments with a great pull, it can really frustrate the offense. And you saw Chulett shoot deep, bit of an errant throw, end up being a pack grab, and Mammoth able to capitalise.
Or more like a pack miss?
A pack miss is probably more accurate. The whole group of them misreading it. McNaughton set to pull again. Expect something special.
A little bit flatter this time, but still hanging.
Lands right at the back of the end zone.
Mammoth already at the front of the end zone.
Chulett surveying the field. Little give go with Andrews. Finds Stacey underneath. Just playing up this far sideline. They'll look to dump and swing here. Moore goes back to Andrews. Can't get to Chulett. Instead goes to Connell. Goes to ground but keeps it alive. Big de Hollander on the mark using his length.
Rob de Hollander, baby cousin of Dan Rule.
The doesn't look like a baby. He's a big guy. It's a great big man matchup right there. Connell and De Hollander. Connell gets it to Andrews. To Blakely. To Moore. Moore, traditionally a deep receiver, has been coming back into the handler position quite a lot for Pillage. Blakely struggling to get something out. Finds Andrews. Low release back into the break side to Blakely. Really opens things up. And then Blakely finds Ung. Yueng. Front of the end zone. A little bit of discussion about whether his back foot was in or not.
Straddle?
Maybe a straddle call. I think he's arguing his back foot was down and his front foot in the air. But looks like he'll just take it from the front and it'll get tapped back in. Not happy with what he's seeing. Gets it to Tulett, who hoots Andrews at the front.
John won't be happy with that. He won't be happy with himself with that. Mammoth's still pretty excited for that point. They really pushed Colony O-line, and the Colony was really moving as fluidly as they would have liked or wanted to.
Yeah, and we're now at 6-5. So we've got a real game on our hands. Neither one able to really fully figure out the opposition. Both of them still able to score and really trying to crank up that defensive pressure.
Absolutely. And at the moment, I'd say the Mammoth D-line is doing a better job than the Colony D-line.
Yeah, it really feels like Colony Pillage is having to work really hard for every point, whereas Mammoth seem to just be able to hit the open man almost at will.
The other big aspect that I think is once Mammoth starts moving, they don't really seem to be slowing down or stopping, whereas with Colony, they'll seem to be stuttering and getting contained very, very quickly by the Mammoth defense.
Yeah, credit to the depth and athleticism of Mammoth for being able to do that. It's not because Colony want to slow down, it's because Mammoth are making them slow down. That deep 25-man roster really coming in handy, able to hustle on every throw. As we see Andrews set to pull again. Some familiar faces down the other end on Mammoth. I imagine in the semi-final they're starting to shorten their rotation just a little bit, get some of their big-time players out there a bit more often.
They still got their whippersnappers out there, so Luke Bain centering to Leon McIntyre. Leon looking. Oh, there's a lot of Mammoths streaming deep. They come back under. Luke Bain centers to Leon as a pick is called. Mammoth Gene up Rob De Hollander right now.
McIntyre with the disc. Came home from the hospital yesterday after bringing home a brand new baby girl. He's a new father and immediately got a hand block on his first point. So
third time daddy, I think.
So congratulations to him. Miscommunication.
And that big wingspan saves Leon there. Gets it to Jack Allen. Jack Allen looks up. Goes back to Leon McIntyre. Gets across to C. Brown. Chris gets it to Leon again. Leon looks. Wants some more movement in the middle. Gets it to Chris Brown. Goes back to Leon McIntyre.
Incredible.
Not many options
pressure
for the handlers right now. Luke Bain gets the disc. Now it's back to Leon. Mammoth playing very deeply right now. Timocles Copland gets the disc. He looks for it. Fakes the huck. Centers it to Leon McIntyre. Leon's looking. Gets it Jack Allen on the sideline. Back to Leon McIntyre. Centers to Luke Bain. Very few undercuts coming in for Mammoth right now. Liam McIntyre with the disc in hand again. Looks up. Gets to Sam McGuckin. Sam McGuckin gets to Rob de Hollander. Rob de Hollander looks up. Looks for another option. Puts it to Luke Bain. Luke Bain sends it. Sam McGuckin. He's got the speed. He's got the height. Will he reel it in? Oh.
Wow. Incredible pressure from Colony that point. Mammoth throwing 15, 20 passes inside their own end zone. Incredible composure by them to play patient and eventually get it out and take a pretty good looking shot in the end.
Sam Guckin had the cut, just didn't quite have those extra few inches he needed to pull that one back in.
Yeah, and big credit to McIntyre for staying calm despite the massive pressure inside his end zone.
Absolutely. Saving a Callahan. Goodness knows how many throws after that. Oh, Jack Allen with a foot! Oh!
More able to reel it in despite the great effort by Jack Allen. Todd Hill with it now. Goes to Blakely. Got a pick call upfield.
Nothing to take the wind out of an offense like a pick call.
Yeah, both sidelines on their feet, pacing up and down. You can feel the energy lift.
Yeah.
After that massive defensive effort by Colony.
Not all players were ready for the disc to come back in there. It certainly seems like Colony's found a bit of second wind right now. They're getting loud.
Blakely struggling to find something, but he gets to Todd Hill on the open side, who goes lefty backhand straight back. Blakely to Moore.
Oh, here we go.
Moore has Hardy going deep, throws the Blady forehand.
Oh, no. That's not the throw you want.
No, the wind getting the better of that one. Turns it into a blade and ends up on the turf.
Colony excited about playing some more D.
And they've got Mammoth where they want them, in their end zone. It's a great clash right now. Got incredibly composed, patient offense against incredibly hardworking D. We'll see which one can get the upper hand. Oh, big cry goes up.
That did not sound good.
No, Mammoth player down in the middle of the field. Not quite sure who it was.
I thought it was Rob Depp, but clearly not. Big units over there on the corner. Is it Linus? Well, you know it's bad when the physio hears the scream and starts coming over. Dare say they'll take an injury timeout.
Hopefully he's all right as the medical staff walk onto the field.
It's not Linus. I have no idea who it is when it went down.
Mammoth players coming over to see how he is. Offering him some water, though I don't think water's going to fix the problem.
Is it Alisk?
That would be a big loss for Mammoth if it was. He's played a crucial role for them.
He did. Oh, nope, that's Al. That definitely wasn't Al. All right, so it was Jack Allen.
It's unfortunate. He's been a rock for Mammoth when they need him. Now I've got a medic running on with a stretcher.
Never a good sign.
Not a good sign at all, unfortunately.
Never a sight you want to see. Jack Allen getting stretched off the field.
Yeah, obviously no one wants to see a player have to be taken off, but the mental challenge for both teams now is to switch back on it, bring the incredible intensity that they had just moments ago, and continue at this point. Looks like John McNaughton will come on to take Allen's place on the field.
Yeah, right. Interesting choice of people stepping up, but you do what you got to do, I guess. I have no idea who's even got the disc. And they're just trying to figure out where they all were when Jack went down.
It was a Mammoth disc.
Yeah,
I think with
Brisbane
McIntyre.
It was just, I think it was with Leon. I think it was just, yeah. And then everyone stops, so Leon's gone to pick it up.
By the sound of it, it comes in stalling one.
Timothy Scotland with the disc now, looking deep. Looks up, sees John McNaughton. Oh, one-handed take. Lets Tom ride him a little bit. Oh, there is a call. John McNaughton with the disc, looking up, looking up. Liam McIntyre on the sideline, looks to centre. Luke Bain, nice bid to clean that up. He looks deep, looks for his boy Chris Brown. He's got possession. Oh, what a take!
Oh, Chris Brown!
Will he be composed? That's going to be a high stall count now. Guess it's Sam McGuckin. Oh my goodness, what composure.
What a grab from Chris Brown.
Colony defender getting a touch to it, but not enough.
We see it again. Blakely goes up really well, gets a hand on it, and then Chris Brown sticks out his lefty and snags it. That's incredible awareness.
Great flexibility as well.
And then rewarded with the assist. And that'll be really demoralising for Colony, as you see now. A few chins down after that one. They made a huge defensive stand, but just not enough.
Not enough. 6-all. Good thing Mammoth has a big squad that drops them down from 26 to 24 with Jack Allen off. Let's see if they keep this momentum going. So Linus, Muller, Al Leask, Trent Thompson, Locke Murph, John McNaughton, Dan Gladish, Elliot Cook on Mammoth D-line.
Down the other end, we've got the standard-looking Colony offense. I just heard one of the sideline players say, "I'm enjoying this," and so are we in the commentary booth. It is so much fun. One hell of a game we've got here at 6 apiece. Plenty of highlight reel moments like the one we just saw from Chris Brown. I expect many more to come.
All right, 6-all. Mammoth have broken back against Colony again. John McNaughton to pull for Mammoth. Mammoth sideline definitely a lot louder than the Colony sideline right now. Oh, the hang time on that. Is it in?
Out the side.
Unfortunate.
It'll be a break, and Cupcake, Tom Chulett will pick it up and bring it into play on the big mark. Pillage again, setting up with no dump, which is an interesting structural choice. It's not something we see very often.
So he's just going to bomb it long then?
I'm going to say yes. I'm just calling it now. Instead goes break side to Blakely. Not bad. Goes to Yuang. Unclear what the call is. But
Pick?
maybe
No.
pick. but it stays with Yuang.
Dan Gladish got a big matchup there.
Yeah, Connell a big man to block. He can go both ways as well. He's a tall guy, strong in the air. Yuang inside out to Connell on this near sideline. He's got Vo.
Oh,
Straight through the hands.
pressure. Well done. Lockmurph busting deep. John McNaught not ready to send it. Looks off Trent Thompson. Sends to Dan Gladish. Dan Gladish goes to Al Leask. Al Leask looking around. Oh, he sends it big and deep, but I'm guessing it was a high stall count and just send it.
Yeah, it must have been. There was no one there. Saying if Colony's going to have it, might as well have it down that end.
Not an ideal situation, but perhaps with the way Mammoth D-line's been playing, maybe it's not a bad option. Hard to say.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you never want to give the disc up in a short field situation.
Yeah, again, no dump. Oh, Dan Gladish has to work hard.
Vo taking a nice grab there. Colony seeming to initiate off the front of their stack, often with Connell making the first move and then looking break side after that. But we've got another pick. It looks like it'll stay with Blakely on this near sideline. Blakely, as the count rises, finds Vo. Another pick call. The play will stand. Getting a fair few calls. It can be challenging for the offense because it breaks the rhythm and ruins any flow that they're able to develop. Gets to Andrews.
Oh, was that a finger to it? Not enough from Lockmurph. Oh, Tullett sends it.
He's got
Trent
Tex.
Thompson's there.
Tex too fast. Does a great job to tow it in. Looks like he might have been hitting the back of the head on the way through.
Oh, travel called. John
see it
McNaughton calling a travel there.
We see it again.
I
Unclear.
thought he cleared him quite well there.
Yeah. Maybe the video doesn't show the full story. But in any case, the disc will come back. Blakely is up, which is a good sign. Never want to see injuries. And Chulett will get another chance. Blakely choosing to stay on, play through any injury or hurt. He's a big asset for this Pillage team, so they'd be unhappy if he went down. He'll come back in, stalling two. So Chulett goes over the top with a scuba to Blakely on the break side. Finds Connell in the center. Doesn't like what he's seeing. Not a lot happening upfield. Yeah, another pick call. Getting very chaotic and messy there.
Pick City, mate.
Yeah, look, sometimes you just got to say if it keeps being picks, it's something wrong with the cuts. It's been pretty messy. Blakely, inside backhand. Seen a lot of breakthrows here. Andrews looking break side again.
Another pick. Good thing we don't keep track of picks, right?
Yeah, look, I think it's got to the stage now where Colling's got to say we need to spread out our stack a little bit. We're a little bit too compact.
Is it fatigue? Is this why we haven't seen so many? Oh, wow.
Beautiful throw. I don't think it's fatigue. I think it's literally just messy cutting. We've had a number of situations where you get three people cutting at once into the same space, and of course the defenders get tangled. But that time there, Andrews showing a really beautiful inside-out backhand.
Yeah.
And that whole point, Colony throwing break throws. I think Mammoth will be really wanting to shut them down going forward.
So 7-6 Colony.
On the doorstep of half. Do you think Mammoth change anything up here?
I don't think so. I don't think they need to. I think Colony are the ones that need to change something up on their D-line. They do not want Mammoth scoring in 30 seconds again. That's going to be pretty hard on their O-line if that happens. They really want to stretch them out, make them do lots and lots of throws, contain them, stifle them. And for them, they're going to be looking to get a block.
Yeah, looking at personnel, it looks like Pillage have an O-line and a D-line. And then they have Tom Tarlett and Rob Andrews. Seems like Rob Andrews and Tom Tarlett playing both ways. And then the supporting cast changes depending on the situation. So they haven't had a lot of subs, and I don't expect them to take many. They're both extremely well-conditioned, experienced players. So they're clearly deciding that they need to step up here and give as much as they can to help their team.
Absolutely. Mammoth O-line, Elliott Cook, Linus Muller, Al Leask, Sam McGuckin, Locke Murph, Timocles Copland, and John McNaughton.
Rob Andrews set to pull.
It's looking really good. Elliott Cook cleaning up, sending us to John McNaughton, looks up, sends back to Elliott Cook. Elliott's pivoting, looking around, looks to John. John McNaughton has it, goes to Locke Murph. Locke Murph on the sideline. Oh, nice throw to Sam McGuckin there. Sam McGuckin to Al Leask. Al Leask is looking, goes for the hammer. Linus all the time in the world to reel that one in. Looks. Gets to Elliott. Elliott looking for options. Goes to Timocles Copland, and we have a call. Pick?
Unsure. It looked like it might have even been Todd Hill saying that Timocles is a little too physical, maybe pushed off him as he was cutting.
Yep.
But it's back in.
Mammoth really wanting to get the upline cut there. John McNaughton with the disc. Looks to center. Goes to Elliott Cook. Oh, Elliott low release to Linus. Oh.
Elliott Cook saying after that last point, anything you can do, I can do just as good with the inside-out backhand.
That was quite pretty. No, I don't think Colony needs to be disappointed with that point.
No, able to put a lot of pressure on, but Mammoth up to the task.
Yep, just moving it around, taking whatever option Colony lets them have.
Now it's 7-all.
Sevens.
Sometimes
Galaxy point?
Yeah, Galaxy point, as we're calling it these days.
Is that a Steph Rapazzo initiative?
Maybe. There were rumours that he was going to Skype in from Venezuela.
Mate, I'll be honest, it does feel a bit weird having a tournament on the Gold Coast and no Stefan.
Yeah,
it is a bit odd. It's
there's
missing.
There's something missing. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's right. You know, something in the atmosphere, something
the
in
water.
the air, something in the water.
Yep.
Yeah. Something in my heart. There's a special place for Steph Rapazzo. But here we are. We're at Galaxy Point, 7 apiece.
Mammoth putting on a massively tall line. That's nearly all of their tall players. Stu Jinks, Chris Tan, Tom Anderson, Timocles Copland, Leon McIntyre, Sam McGuckin, and the shortest person on that line, John McNaughton.
Yeah, you know you got a big line when John McNaughton, J-Max, the shortest guy out there.
Yeah.
The other end of the field, fairly tall as well. Got Gav Moore, Rob Andrews, and Rory Connell, three of the biggest players on the Colony team, all out there at once. And the others aren't short either. Huge pull from J-Mac.
Oh, that's looking good. That's looking really good.
to Chula.
Nice hang time, nice length.
And again, Colony initiate off the front of the stack, going deep. Gav Moore comes underneath, recognising the poach. Blakely on the break side, totally open in acres of space. Stacey. Mammoth doing a good job of switching.
It's a hammer.
Nathan Stacey whips out a beautiful crossfield hammer to Gav Moore, to Yueng for the goal. That's a huge throw.
Absolutely.
To take half, that's fearless.
Absolutely. So Colony take half, so 8-7. Mammoth to start on offense next half, I believe, if my memory serves, which is not really that good these days, so could very well be wrong.
I think you're right. So half time.
Good times.
Yeah. We'll take a quick break. Come back to join you for the second half.
Yep, sounds good.
Welcome back to the second half of the AUC semi-final between Colony Pillage and Brisbane Mammoth on the Gold Coast at the beautiful Runaway Bay complex. This live coverage brought to you by Ultimate Australia. We saw half at 8-7 taken by Colony, and now Mammoth will come out to start the second half on offense. So far it's been a pretty good game. We've had swings of momentum both ways. And despite the scoreline, I actually would have said Mammoth had the ascendancy in terms of pressure, but obviously still a very tight one. It could go either way. I would love to see the Mammoth defensive team pull out their zone again. They only used it once or twice in the first half, but it appeared very effective. Colony had to throw a lot of passes to work it up the field. But they do have a very deep roster, and to take advantage of that, I guess they'll be looking to run Colony hard. The other end of the field, Rob Andrews set to pull. He hasn't had many subs, and I don't expect him to take many more. McNaughton with the disc. Thrower being shouted from the sideline. And into the hands and out of the hands. And now Colony have the disc. Todd Hill to Andrews. To Tollett. Around to Andrews. Goes to Moore. To Todd Hill. Andrews, nice hands to hold on to that one. And calls a timeout. I guess Rob Andrews really wanting to get this break out of half. They're about 10 metres out from the end zone, a couple of metres off the far sideline. Maybe he didn't like what was happening downfield, didn't like the cuts that were developing. And so he says, we'll have a break. We'll have a chat and we'll figure it out and come back. Mammoth obviously disappointed to give up the disc. As cheaply as they did. Against a team like Colony, you can't give it away easily. You have to value the Frisbee. And we've seen pretty much across the tournament, it's the teams that are ruthless when they have it and get the goals and don't give it up easily that are the ones that are doing the best. Earlier today, we watched Ellipsis come up against Factory. And obviously Ellipsis came out on top there, beating them 15-0, and they were utterly ruthless when they had the disc. Only turning it a couple of times across the whole match. And the same principle applies here. The team that can turn it the least, can hold on to it, and make the other team earn the disc is the one that will usually come out on top. So Colony sets up. Chulett in the dump space. Andrews with the disc. Looks like we're isolating Todd Hill in front of Andrews, and then we've got a stack going backwards diagonally into the center of the field with Moore at the back. He'll be the release valve if the pressure builds. Tullett finds Gav Moore in the front corner of the end zone on the open side. They don't waste any time punching that one in. Colony obviously very happy with that. Breaking straight out of half. Maybe Mammoth just sleep a little bit. Not able to bring the focus. See it again. Andrews dumps to Chulett. Tullett and Andrews off this point, taking a break. Instead we've got Reece Stewart set to pull. Ex-Brisbane Mammoth player coming up against his old teammates. See whether he can get the better of them. Mammoth on offense now. John McNaughton hasn't taken many subs either. His team will be relying on him to do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to handling. Obviously a very powerful thrower, both into and against the wind. We'll see what Mammoth can do at this point. Norton received the pull. Moves it to Cook. Cook holding on to it, not liking what he's seeing. Gets it to McGucken on the near sideline. Back to Cook. You can jump in.
Lockmurth to Lance Muller. Nice to John McNaughton. Looks deep. Goes for the hammer. Sam McGucken receives. Sam look at his centre. Goes to Elliot Cook. Lance Muller with the disc. Sends it deep. Lockmurth bounces out. Can't make a second bid.
He gets his hand there, full hand on the disc, but just can't hold on to it, and it goes out the sideline.
Apologies for the absence. TD Judy's beckoned.
Yeah, big shout out to the whole team. It's been a brilliantly run tournament so far. Touch wood.
Thank you.
I think everyone up here would agree. It's been seamless. As Connell brings it back in. Beautiful around forehand to Moore. Moore unleashes deep. He's got plenty of hang time.
Teammate on teammate. Or prior teammate, rather. Foul called. Was Reece getting that, though? Does he have the hops to grab that?
We see it here again. Looked like Cook had better position.
Had better position, but
Stewart had
Jarrett meant to
overrun
make
it.
contact, but would it have affected the play if the contact hadn't happened?
Yeah, perhaps not. Game advisors getting involved now. They'll provide their perspective and any clarification on what the rules actually are.
I mean, Reece has been away from Brisbane for about 6-9 months, so maybe he's done some plyos that I'm not aware of.
Knowing Reece, it's unlikely.
Yeah. Goals retracted, so Mammoth disc. Elliot Cook, disc in hand, looks to get to John McNaughton in the centre. John McNaughton saying that boys are too deep. He sends it. He's got two in support. He's got Elliot Cook. He's got Al Leask. Ooh. Some pretty heavy contact there. Al did get a hand to it.
So we have another look. Alex Leask and Elliot Cook, the two handlers, having a go at going deep. Yeah, Seb Hardy goes up big, but plenty of body on body in the air.
So, and discussion ensues. Game advisors are coming in. I really wish we could hear what the game advisors were saying.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know the perspective of the field. But from here, it looked like plenty of contact as Seb Hardy came in late. I guess they'll be deciding whether it was a foul, who initiated, who had the right to be there, etc.
I'd say by the amount of discussion that's happening that it's going to be contested.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that a discussion that goes for this long ends up in an uncontested situation. clearly both sides.
And it's going back. We have contested foul.
And McNaughton will have another go at this.
Yeah, I don't think John's overly upset with that outcome.
No. And I think it was a high stall count situation as well.
Yep.
Which means it'll come back on 6, I believe, which is probably better than what it was.
Yep. He's got Linus as a dump. Colony trying to muster their numbers on the sideline. Sorry, TD Judy's interrupting. Linus puts it deep. I think Reece Stewart's going to get there. Oh!
Great layout!
Sam McGuckin! Oh my goodness! If Reece had those hops, though.
Wow. Wow. Reece Stewart and Sam McGuckin both going fully horizontal, shoulder to shoulder, fingertip to fingertip.
I don't know how he held on to that. Wow.
That is incredible. I hope we get to see that again. That was huge.
That's when they tripped over the power cables.
That was massive.
Yeah. Even for a little Reece Stewart there. Reece.
Bit of batter on the sideline between Stewart and McGuckin. Old teammates, know each other very well.
Yep. There would have been no holding back there with the comments. But good, clean, wholesome fun. That's what we like to see. What we don't like to see is another player being stretchered off another field. Jack Allen is heading to the hospital, unfortunately. So all the best to him, and hopefully it's not as bad as it sounds. So where are we at? 9-8 to Colony. So I guess there was a break while I was away.
Yeah, straight out of half, Colony able to not able to come out fully firing, and Mammoth jumped on it.
Oh, John McNaughton with another one of those ludicrous pulls that just goes over the live stream tent and somehow lands in perfectly at the back of the end zone. Mammoth is setting up one-on-one matchup. Or is it a 2-3-2?
Looks like a bit of a containment zone.
Oh,
but Tullett goes over the top.
Oh. Tom Anderson just giving him a little love tap there.
Yeah, Bo holds on well though. Tullett to Andrews, crossfield to Connell. It looks like Mammoth are transitioning now into one-on-one.
One-on-one certainly the call. Sideline getting loud, making it clear to hear what's been said.
Tullett to Stacey to Blakely, moving it quickly to this side of the field.
This is where Colony has struggled.
You can see their first look is nearly always to the break side.
Young Tom Anderson.
See Andrews looking to the break side. We've got a pick call.
Pick called.
As you can see, the Colony stack is very compact.
Indeed.
Which is good in that it gives plenty of space for their cutters to cut into, but does mean that picks are pretty likely, as we've had plenty of them. Blakely on the doorstep.
Oh, another call.
A bit more discussion. It was violation from the previous pick call,
Players
perhaps.
not ready, or
McNaughton and Andrews having a chat, apparently, and hadn't reset from the last pick.
All right. So we go back one transition.
All right, so it comes back to Tullett. He's got Blakely open for him on the break side. Gets it again.
Seals.
Tullett, inches from the line. Incredibly chaotic in front of him. Everyone cutting. And he squeezes one through.
Breakthrough is fumbled out of bounds.
Nathan Stacey gets a hand to it, gets a foot to it, but can't hold on.
John McNaughton picks up. Leon centers. Timocles looks up. Goes to Bainey. Bainey looks up. Goes to Leon. Leon looks up. Mammoth looking for deep options. They're just not there. Rob de Hollander with the disc now. He sends it.
Way too much juice. Too many wheat bix this morning for de Hollander.
Young de Hollander not quite having the touch, or maybe miscued, maybe thought someone else was going deep. Difficulties of training in another city.
Looks like it might have gone out pretty early in its flight, so Colony pick it up from about a third of the way up the field. Great grab by Connell.
Oh, not in.
It's on the end zone line. Got everyone cutting. Utter chaos. Got a pick call. I think there's one thing Colony can do to improve their chances in this game. It's clean up their cutting.
Yep.
One at a time, please.
Would not hurt. The Mammoth line is now down to 23. Liam Grimmon's out with knee injury. And
violation. Judging by the hand signals.
Going too early.
Too early.
Too keen, too eager.
Can't blame them when they're this close to the end zone.
Sideline is deafening right now. Yep. Mammoth happy with that. Well, happy to let it stand anyway.
Yeah. It's hard to be happy when the other team scores, but they've got to keep moving forward.
Yep. 10-8 to Colony. Yep.
We've just seen here walking along the sideline Liam Grimmond with his cleats off and an ice pack on his knee. That'll really hurt Mammoth's chances. He's been key for them on offense and defense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's certainly a up-and-coming playmaker for certainly the Mammoth crew, and perhaps in the not-too-distant future, the Australian representative, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty good odds for that to happen.
And there's lots of smoke in the background. Yeah, I'm pretty certain I didn't leave the iron on this morning. I must admit, I do like the game advisors with their whistles.
Yeah, it's nice. It keeps the game flowing.
Absolutely. I wish every game had that.
Yeah. And especially, you know, we know what the rules are ourselves, but often what feels like 60 seconds when you're huffing and puffing after a long point isn't actually 60 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. Caught up in the heat of the moment.
Tullett, huge roll.
Seb Brown catching, center into John McNaughton. Goes to Sam McGuckin. Sam to John McNaughton. Oh, nice high throw to Chris Brown, but another pick, I assume. I mean, I guess I could just default to the pick call.
Yeah, probably a safe bet this game. We've had a fair few of them.
Oh, too many Mammoths going for that. No one communicated who was getting it, and a Colony player comes up with the D.
Yeah, Tullett going horizontal there. And probably another pick. As we see that replay from that block by Tullett, that's pretty impressive. Tullett, very experienced. He's played lots of years of Ultimate.
Reece Stewart loving the travel call. And Joe McNaughton scored on.
Yeah, Tullett finds Xavier Black. And Colony are really excited about that one as they stretch their lead to 3.
11-8. Mammoth not happy with it. They have pulled back from a deficit like this tournament, so it's certainly not impossible for them. But they've got to find that magic, and they've got to find it pretty quick.
Yeah, it's a real mental challenge, I guess, for Mammoth here. They've had someone go off on a stretcher, some of their normal big personnel not playing this game, with Limond out with an injury. Not easy to put that out of your mind.
Certainly not an ideal situation to be in for Mammoth right now.
Yeah. If you were the Mammoth coach, what would you be telling them?
Got to lift. Now's the time to lift. You know, still in the game, not insurmountable. Trust in yourself, trust in your teammates. Get the job done. Focus on this point now. Score this O point, then focus on getting the breaks. On that O-line, we've got Linus Muller, Trent Thompson, Elliot Cook, Sam McGuckin, Locke Murph, Al Leask, and John McNaughton. John McNaughton's played a lot of points.
He has.
John McNaughton taking that on the chest. Centers to Elliot Cook. Elliot goes to Linus Muller. Linus looks up. Goes to Al Leask. Al Leask to Elliot Cook. Elliot Cook turfs it. Colony in a position to extend their lead. Linus Muller, what a bid! Strip.
I think that's the call. It's a great effort by Muller. Doesn't look contested. It'll stay with Andrews. And yeah, you're seeing the replay. It's a great effort, but it was in Andrews' hand. Well, it looks like we've immediately got a call downfield.
Yeah, there's a lot of frustration on the players. All the stoppages from the calls. Certainly getting to both teams, to be honest.
Yeah, these tense situations towards the end of tournaments and at the end of games often lead to a few extra calls than would normally be made. That high release forehand.
Oh, Trent Thompson. Another layout bid. Mammoth not holding back this point. Jumping on, looks deep, calls people under. Looks to center. He's got no undercuts right now. And a travel called? Sideline says it's dubious. Foot not on the line appropriately, I think is the call there.
Yeah, I'm not exactly clear. It was a travel of some description. Let's put it like that.
J-Mac looking. Oh, up the line.
Oh! Will Norton laying out straight towards the commentary booth. Incredible play when his team needed it.
Absolutely.
Will Norton. Rob Andrews brings it back in. Finds Todd Hill. To Norton on this break side. And he goes fat side with his forehand to a diving Seb Hardy.
Wow.
What a way to put that one in.
What vision to see that, to make that shot and to execute.
Yeah. And a lot of guts as well, shooting across the stack with a big bladey forehand. But hey, you can't blame him when it works. It works.
That's right.
Get another look at this. Norton, after making the huge layout D, shoots cross field over a number of players. That's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. Second Colony team coming over to help bolster the sidelines.
And they'll be happy with the scoreline that they see. Pillage up 12-8. They've got a 4-point lead coming into the business end of the game. But Mammoth have to find a way to lift it another level.
Absolutely. John McNaughton's not on this point, so let's see if they can find some magic. Leon McIntyre with the catch, send us to Elliot Cook. Sideline's getting pretty loud. Leon has the disc, goes to McGuckin. McGuckin looks, goes back to Leon McIntyre. Leon sends us to Elliot Cook. Goes to Timocles Copland. Timocles to Lock Murph. Lock Murph looking for a dump option, goes to Elliot Cook. Elliot wants to send it, finds Linus under, and I was going to say it's a pick.
It's a pick.
Yep, and it affects, so it goes back. Mammoth stacked very, very deep at the moment. Leon McIntyre with the disc. There's not really many undercuts coming right now. Timocles Copland.
An absolute wall of noise coming off the sideline right now. Everyone's on their feet. 2 full Colony squads shouting, screaming there.
Trying to drown Mammoth out.
Yeah.
Leon McIntyre with the disc. Hits Al-Lease. Al-Lease looks up. Goes back to Leon. Lockmurth with the disc. Goes to Al-Lease. Goes to Sam McGuckin. McGuckin sends it. Sends it to Elliot Cook. He's open. He's only got a shoot around him. He looks for Lockmurth. And there's a call. Is it a pick?
Pick call. Unclear where or when. Oh, in the follow-up to the great grab by Cook on the Hawk.
So Cook retains, but Lockmurph goes back. Everyone else goes back. Okay. All right. Interesting. Oh, discussion. Reese says he can count to 3. We're not sure, though. People seem to be together. Lockmurph gets the disc, nice reset. Looks for a handler, goes to Leon McIntyre. Leon. Oh, he fakes the over the head. And he goes for it to miss. McGuckin, not in. Goes to Al Leask. Send us to Timocles Copland. On goes to El Cook. Pulls it in, but a pick was called. It's a good thing he caught it, because that would have been a turnover otherwise.
But it does come back, another pick. Semi-final at Nationals, unfortunately. This afternoon is the case.
Timocles Copland with the disc, looks for options. Goes to Al Leask. Al Leask looks up. Goes to Timocles Copland. Goes to Lockmurph. Lockmurph looks. Punches it through. Oh! Sam McGuckin not able to hang on to it.
Really ambitious throw is probably the nicest way of putting it.
It was a bullet.
Saw a hole through a number of defenders and shoots through it. McGuckin having to go sideways to get a hand on it, as we see again. Maybe the frustration of the long point.
And we're underway.
O'Mahony.
Conley centres. Conley looks to his deep players.
Todd Hill to Nichols to Tullett. Colony working really hard with their legs, you can see here. Both teams fired up. Stewart goes fat side, breaks the mark. Gav Moore milks it in. Colony 13-8. That's heartbreaking for Mammoth. They do all the hard work. They throw about 10 or 15 passes within 5 metres of the end zone.
Yep. That's definitely going to be heartbreaking for Mammoth. And that's hard. I don't think we've had the time cap go yet, so
All right, so we're down to the business end of this game. Colony within striking distance. They're 2 points away from locking themselves a finals berth. But Mammoth not ready to roll over just quite yet. McNaughton's back on the field. Let's see whether he can add the extra spark that Mammoth needs. What do you say to Mammoth right now? Is there something you can say?
much the same as what I would have said 3 points ago.
Just trust yourselves, trust your players, and go
absolutely.
105%.
Yeah, I mean, you can't leave anything left in the tank right now. You can't afford to. And we have another call. It's another pick. Would you believe it?
Unfortunately, I would, Chris. Got another one.
Rob de Hollander with the disc. Goes to John McNaughton. John McNaughton sends it. Goes to Tom Anderson. Tom Anderson's under it. He takes it quite easily. He looks up for support. Goes to Seb Brown. Seb Brown looks for him. Looks to Tom. Oh!
Tom Tullett.
Contact. And do we have a call? Tom looks a little dazed there.
Injury call, but unclear if there's also a foul or if the turnover will stand.
Young Tom Anderson comes off the field. Linus Muller goes on for him. And I guess that's a turnover.
Yeah.
So just an injury. Colin looking to move it to go very quickly. Rob de Hollander having to work to cover this player deep.
Pick call.
No.
Yes.
No, get out.
You wouldn't believe it, but there's another one, ladies and gentlemen.
Unheard of.
I guess it's a sign of how much this point means to every player on the field.
Mammoth pretty quiet right now. Seb Brown on the mark. Wait, don't tell me. It's a pick.
I actually think it might not be. I think it's a foul call by Tullett off the disc.
Oh.
I know, mixing it up a little. No,
How
I think
different?
Tullett
No?
saying Mueller maybe gave him a little bit too much body as he ran past, but we're back in.
Oh, what a hand block! Not good enough for Terracles Copland.
Incredible save by Norton. And a pick.
Is it a pick?
It's a pick this time, yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
They tried doing something different, they didn't like it, they've gone back to picks. Blakely to Andrews. And another one.
Are we serious? Can we string 2 passes together without a pick?
Andrew's on the doorstep. He's got Norton. Doesn't take him. He's got Blakely. He hits him on the chest.
Wait, is there a pick?
There is no pick.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I'll calm down now.
And that is Sydney Colony 14. Brisbane Mammoth 8. Match point.
Queensland is yelling for 8 straight. Maths is not the strong point, but, you know. Well, this is it.
This is it.
Leave anything in the tank, you only have yourself left to blame after this point.
Yeah, Mammoth have a big task ahead of them. Some would say it's a mammoth task ahead of them.
Yeah. There is a lot of them, so distribute the weight. You all each carry your own piece. You can move the pyramids.
Wise words, Chris. Wise words.
Thank you. That took me 5 seconds to think up.
So they're going to put out their best possible offensive line, hope to get the job done, and then go on a 6-point defensive run. That's what they have to do if they want to get themselves a spot in the final tomorrow.
Yeah, Colony in good spirits. They're pretty chippy, giving each other a bit of stick. But, you know, that's the joys of being in the controlling position right now. Mammoth needs to dig deep.
Yep, absolutely. It's absolutely true. Colony with their 6-point lead, feeling comfortable. They've just got a standard defensive line out there, not feeling like they need to drag any stars across. Just saying, go do the job. And Gav Moore with the pull.
That's nice. Looks good. Al Leask with it. Centers John McNaughton. John sends to Sam McGuckin. Just pulls in. Sam sends it. Oh, what a D!
Gav Moore reads the play like a book. Gets in front, goes up big. Nichols with the disc. Immediately, Colony lights up on the sideline. And Nichols goes around the mark. And that's a goal to Max Magny for the win. Sydney Colony Pillage getting up 15-8 over Brisbane Mammoth.
What a game. That second half was definitely different. Quite the contrast to the first half. Mammoth certainly hung in, trading and even breaking Colony. Colony breaking back and taking half. And just a completely different Colony team after that half, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Colony took half 8-7.
Yep.
That's right. And then you look at the scoreboard now, Mammoth only managed a single one in the second half. So
absolutely.
Colony really turning it up.
Mammoth had their shots, but they weren't able to punish Colony like they did in the first half. And Colony reversed that and punished Mammoth for every opportunity they got.
Yeah, and I guess the difference there between the two halves is that even in the first half when Colony was getting punished for the mistakes, they were still able to chalk up their points on the board, whereas in the second half, Mammoth weren't able to do it. And the end result is what looks like a pretty one-sided scoreline that doesn't really represent how close it was throughout.
Indeed. So Colony through the final. So we got a Sydney team, and they'll be up against either the Kiwis, the Wildcats, or it will be against Wildcats. People are nodding at me. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it looks like it'll be a Colony Pillage New Zealand Wellington Wildcats final.
The Wild Kitty Cats. Who would have thought? I beam a little bitter. Good to see. Cool. I guess we wrap it up there.
Yeah, we do. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the Ultimate Australia coverage of the Australian Ultimate Championships from the Gold Coast.